Airbnb is one of these companies that I would one, work for. You have experience with them, but also two, I really respect from afar, man.
Well, you have a lot of experience with it, right? You got started so early.
Not a lot. Not as much as you do.
But you were on the guest side, the host side, the community side, all aspects of it.
Yeah. That's how. Okay, just to clarify this, we talked about this a bit beforehand, but you and I met essentially. I was renovating and handling some Airbnbs in Shanghai in 2013 with my partner at the time, Patrick. And honestly, it was such a huge learning experience in so many ways.
That's amazing.
Those were hard to manage. I don't know how people do it now. I think that's a more common model, right? Like people having multiple ones and running an operation.
Yeah.
Yeah. One man show back then was fucking difficult, man.
So you had to clean.
No. I didn't do the actual cleaning. It's real. But even just like there was this one time where it was like around this time of year. It was like 1 a.m. and like something went wrong. There was like no electricity or some shit. It was just like little shit like that, right? And it wasn't even that far. I was like living here and I had to go to Xintiandi. But just like 1 a.m., it was like a Tuesday night, and I'm just like, fuck, I do not want to do this.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's when I knew. Yeah. You were part of the original, opening team, operating team?
So I was part of the original founding team for Asia back in 2011.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, man.
Fucking impressive, man.
And the whole goal then was my goal personally was to bring Airbnb into China.
Yeah.
But the first, the sub goal of that was to help Chinese experience a new way of seeing the world, right? Because you got to remember at that time Chinese thought traveling was purely just staying in 5-star hotels.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So you thought by having other people, foreigners, come here and do it, it would make Chinese people go, oh, I wonder what it would be like if I did it the other way, or within China.
So yeah, I mean, ironically, a lot of in the early days, the number one traveler for supply in China was Chinese.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then when they stayed in a listing, your listing in Shanghai, it made them want to go and do the same thing in Italy.
Interesting.
That's cool, right?
Yeah. That is really cool. Because I guess in a way you experience it in a safe zone. And then you want to go, oh, now I wonder. Because foundationally, it's a very different experience, right? Like staying in an Airbnb. I think especially back then. Yeah. I think now, especially going public, they have to kind of standardize things more and more.
That's right.
Right? They have to have
it's like a hotel.
Yeah, safety and security more than anything, right?
Yeah.
But back then, it was especially here. I feel like it was the Wild West. We had to figure out so much shit, bro. You imagine doing these lane houses on Airbnb back. I mean, right? It was a nightmare trying to explain. No, first you gotta go turn left, and then this. Yeah.
The key exchange.
Yeah.
The midnight calls.
How thin the walls are. How bad. Yeah, I'm sure you guys had a lot of that. Yeah.
But it was good. It was an experience. I mean, the biggest thing what I loved was the community. It was the hosts like yourself. By the way, the hosts like yourself, in many ways, don't exist today.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, to be fair though, we also did it for the money. There was never a non-money factor for us. Yeah.
Yeah, but you put your heart into it.
Oh, well, I was young. I put my heart into a lot of things. It's why I don't put my heart in shit anymore. Yeah.
Put other things into other things too.
Yeah. Overall positive experience though, right? Yeah. Learn a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I was there for 6 years, and it was a once in a lifetime experience. Now we're going IPO, so I never thought it would happen.
Really? When you were there, that wasn't the plan?
No. I mean, those investors obviously are pushing them to go IPO all the time. But as an employee, you really you keep hearing about this kind of mythical IPO, but you don't really know the nuances of the meat behind it.
Right.
But now they're actually doing it, so that's really great.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in this year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They were supposed to do it last year.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. And then, but I don't listen to a lot of business podcasts. One I listen to is Pivot with Scott Galloway, Kara Sisha. So they talk about Airbnb a lot and the CEO Nathan and all that stuff. And it's a company that from afar actually looks really aspirational. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And it's really interesting because it's a tech company that also is a consumer brand.
Sorry, not Nathan, Brian. I just realized. Yeah.
Brian. But there's a co-founder called Nathan. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's one of those interesting things where it's a tech company, but it's also a really well-known consumer brand with high brand equity.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when we first hopped on Airbnb in 2013, I did not think it would get to where it was today. Like even despite being a part of it, like it's you're like in that Uber category now, right? Where you are a colloquial term. Like you're no longer a company. You're essentially a noun.
You're a poster child.
Yeah. Like I never thought that would happen with Airbnb, to be honest with you. Because the concept still is a little bit weird, like you know, and I don't know, like if I'm not strapped for money, I don't know if I would let my apartment be for somebody else. But it's my primary residence. Like I get it as a secondary residence or house you're not using. Still a little weird though.
Yeah. Like the empty nest syndrome, right? I think that's a real. One of the things that kind of got us started, right?
So just to clarify, when you say that, you mean like when children go leave for high school or college or whatever, and the parents have like this empty room. That type of feeling is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Trying to kind of utilize empty space, but at the same time package it with a human experience, right? And then what really pushed us over the edge, like made us super popular, was ironically the financial crisis.
In 2008.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. You guys been around for a while.
Since 2007, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a long time.
But it didn't really start picking up till like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. It's when you joined, I guess, right?
That's right, yeah.
What was that growth like? I guess especially for China, where you are such like a major plot.
So I don't remember the exact year. It might have been 2015. We grew 800%
annually.
In 1 year.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
For a company that size, that's insane. Yeah. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those situations where, okay, like, for example, Uber always says that they have a global network effect, where if they were first in America, and then they opened in Europe and then Asia, right? And they felt like each component of that network would contribute to the success and the health of the total network. But that's, in my opinion, not really true.
Right.
For that model.
Right. You guys would be a better example.
Airbnb is the perfect example of a true global network effect, right? Like by bringing in and convincing Chinese that, hey, this is an alternative way of traveling, truly does benefit the whole network. And to the point where, you remember in like 2016, Chinese were like the #1 outbound travel in the world. Surpassing Germany and America and everything, right?
I think that trend has only increased, no?